It's a new year, and I spent the first few days thinking about resolutions. You know, things that we say we're going to do that's going to make us better people. Things like praying more, going to the gym, eating healthier. And then like most people, I didn't come up with anything concrete or actionable and just didn't start. And this is my attempt to do something. My thought is that in order to prepare for the next year, we need to look back at the past year. And boy, was 2020 a doozy.
Australia's Black Summer.
Work from home.
Virus now in every region of this country.
Thousands protested in the streets of Hong Kong. A massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon.
Thousands of protesters storming cities across the country.
Police now advancing on protesters.
If you were to look at just the news clips, you would assume that 2020 was a terrible year. But the funny thing is, as I played those memories back in my head, it wasn't all bad. Don't get me wrong, it was a tough year. But in between all those challenges, I found moments of joy, of accomplishment, and an overwhelming amount of love. That made me question how I remember this year. What would I tell my children about this year? What would I tell my grandchildren as they interviewed me for their middle school history projects about the great pandemic of 2020, or whatever it is we call it then? You see, memory is a powerful thing. It can shape our perception of the present, and it can change our expectations of the future. St. Augustine said, "My childhood indeed, which no longer is in time past, which now is not. But when I call to mind its image and speak of it, I behold it in the present, because it is as yet in my memory." Okay, so what does that mean? In order to find meaning in the statement, we need to ask a few questions. What is time? How do we know time? What did God give? Is there enough time? Are we out of time? Well, there's two fundamental things we need to know about St. Augustine and his understanding of time. One, time is a creature of God. And two, time is experienced in our minds. Let's tackle these one at a time. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And thanks to CBS, we all know how he did it.
All started with a big bang.
That is the beginning of time. And for everyone who took that required semester of astronomy in college, who were like, whoa. The universe is expanding, and it probably took some amount of time before this insignificant little blue planet, orbiting around a small, unregarded yellow sun, far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of our galaxy, was created. Yes, you're right, it probably did, but God is not bound by time and exists outside of time. It's complicated, so I asked somebody credible for help. He's a doctor.
Yeah, people don't understand time. It's not what you think it is.
And then what is it?
Complicated.
Tell me.
Very complicated.
I'm clever and I'm listening. Tell me.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Okay, so maybe that's not the best explanation. So let's look at it as a mathematical concept. 2 plus 2 is 4, right? We don't say 2 plus 2 was 4, or 2 plus 2 will be 4. 2 plus 2 just is 4. God is, right? Like he told Moses in the burning bush, "I am who am." God is everywhere, every when, always, and at once. And that's the best my tiny little human brain can do to comprehend this, right? It's too much for me to understand, especially since my understanding and experience of time is so different. And that brings me to part 2. Time is experienced in our minds. We can only measure it while it's passing. For Augustine, that recognition led to his understanding that a perception of time is actually a perception of 3 times. Perhaps it might be rightly said that there were 3 times: a time present of things past, a time present of things present, and a time present of things future. For these 3 do coexist somehow in the soul, for otherwise I could not see them. The time present of things past is memory. The time present of things present is direct experience. The time present of things future is expectation. When I think about my future, telling stories to my grandchildren, I am present in things future. I don't know what those stories will be. I don't know who my grandchildren are. They don't exist yet. But in my mind, I can create expectations of what those experiences might be like. I can anticipate the love I will feel for them and the joy they will bring. I will be telling them stories from a time present in things past, things from a memory. These are things that have already happened, that no longer exist except for when I make them present through memory. So this brings me back to resolutions. Resolutions live in a time present of things present, direct experience. Based on our experiences, we make choices to act that will yield specific outcomes in our future. With that in mind, my resolution is to spend more time considering how these three things interact, to take the time to process my past experiences, learn from them, apply those lessons in the choices I make daily, in anticipation of a future filled with hope and love. And I hear you, Darnell, that's so vague, and you're right. So let's tighten up just a little bit. I will take moments from the past year, those that really stressed me and those that brought me immense joy. I'll take them into prayer, offer them to God, and learn to listen to what He tells me in response. And I want to experience as much as the future as possible, and that means health. So I'll commit to eating healthier and being active. And yeah, I know, these are literally the same resolution as every other person in the world. But at least I have a strong why. Hey, thanks for watching. I realize that this video is coming out kind of late in the year. It's almost February and half of you have already probably failed with your resolutions. I just want to say that's okay. I hadn't even started yet. So take this as an opportunity to rethink them, to develop a strong why and start over. This video is also just a very convoluted way to say that I want to be more intentional this year. And that means slowing down to think and discover new ideas. And not new as in like never been thought before, but like new to me. And one way I like to do that is by reading. And no, this is not an Audible ad. It's not an ad at all. It's just something cool that my wife showed me I thought I'd share with you. It's an app called Libby that allows you to plug into your local library system. You can get a digital library card and you can check out books to your Kindle or audiobooks. It's free, it's awesome, and it's available, and I just thought I'd share that. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for obscure topics, leave them in the comments below. All right, well, see ya.